How are you, Senator?
Doing great. It's good to be with you, Glenn.
Yeah. So I was in the gallery last night. The State of the Union takes on a different feel when you're actually there.
It does. Absolutely electric, and last night was no exception.
Yeah. And I wouldn't necessarily call it electric, but sitting up in the gallery, I was facing the president. I was 50-yard line facing the president. I could see what everybody was doing with their cell phones, and I could see who was engaged, who wasn't. There needs to be a camera from behind and focused on, all of the senators and all of the House members, because it really takes on a different view when you're watching who's telling who what and who's whispering something and how they're really reacting and when they're taking selfies at really inappropriate times. It was amazing.
I can imagine. I'd like to sit up there sometime just to get that perspective.
It was amazing. I thought the speech last night definitely the best speech I think I've heard him give. And I think it may be one of the most inspiring speeches I've heard in a State of the Union. I'm trying to remember Bush maybe after 9/11, but I don't think so. I think you go back to Reagan on that soaring kind of, this is who we are kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's right. This is the best State of the Union I've heard in a long time, certainly since I've been in office, and really for quite a while before then.
Yeah.
He knocked it out of the park. It was terrific.
What are you expecting out of this? Anything? First of all, was there anything historic that happened last night that he said, or anything historic?
Yes. Here's what I think is the single most historic takeaway. When the President of the United States said, hey, we should be concerned about the killing of babies who have been born and are breathing, and virtually half of the chamber in the House of Representatives, half of the senators, virtually half of the representatives sat there, silent, stone-faced, refusing to respond in any way. That was historic. Not necessarily in a good way, but it was historic nonetheless. It's a chilling reminder of how far our government has drifted from what normal people of ordinary moral sensibilities know is right.
I think they are so far out of touch with the Democrats in the Heartland, the Democrats around the country, at least the Democrats that I know. And I don't think the Democrats really understand how radical these people really are. And I tell you, Mike, I look at this every day and I talk about the radicals. I've been talking about, the socialists for a long time. I don't think I really realized how radical they were until I sat in that chamber last night and I watched them react when the cameras were not on them. They mocked, they laughed, they poked at each other. It was almost like a college reunion atmosphere. And when he was talking about serious issues, the border issue and the caravan, they mocked him the whole time in the chamber. When he talked about abortion and what was happening, they were poking each other and rolling their eyes at each other. It was obscene. And I think if the average Democrat would have sat where I was sitting last night, I think they would have realized, these people, the mask is fully off when they don't think the cameras are there. And I actually felt bad for you and the president and everybody else that goes into this every day, because you're not dealing with honest brokers. You're not dealing with people who are who they say they are.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Setting aside for a minute those who would consider themselves Republicans or libertarians or even independents, just the rank and file Democrat out there, I think has got to be a little bit shocked by this, more than a little bit shocked. Because when it was about them, they were celebrating. When the cameras were on them, they were cheering or doing whatever they could to draw attention to themselves. It was about them. When it was about the most vulnerable among us, babies who have been born, who are in the most defenseless, vulnerable position imaginable, they sat there stone cold silence, and their silence was deafening on that point.
It was, I think there was a turning point, and it was a warning, I think, to the American people and to Democrats, but they missed it. When we heard the Democratic Party at their convention deny God 3 times. Remember that vote? And I thought it was significant that they took 3 votes and they denied him 3 times.
Maybe they'll be like Peter and repent later and
Right.
decide maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Right. So I thought that was an important turning point. But that was a turning point for if you were religious, that meant something to you. But this is the fruit of that tree. And when they denied that a baby born should be saved, when they denied that that was life that was worth preserving, a baby, we're not even talking in the womb. We're talking now been born and is disabled, or they tried to kill it through abortion, or just minutes before their birth. It's obscene. And when they didn't stand for that, and when the president of the United States has to say, we are disturbed by the growth of socialism, and this country will never be socialist. 4 years ago, they were mocking anyone who said they were socialist. Now they didn't clap or stand to say, yeah, you're right, America's never going to go socialist.